Sairaj Dhond. With BNS, Ingress Global Consulting is a partner. I am a partner at Ingress Global Consulting. We help startups grow, and with Bhopal Smart City, we are helping them mentor their startups in different ways. And I from BNS, Mr. Yogesh Kakre have joined, who is the company secretary at Bhopal Smart City. Welcome, sir. Now, hello, sir. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. So, now talking about the topic of today's session, there are thousands of applications which the Shark Tank receives every year, out of which about 200, are filmed, and only 100 of them are aired. You know, so we're very lucky to have here Sairaj with us. Sairaj is the CEO of Wakao Foods. He started his entrepreneur journey, just after finishing, his lawyer degree. So he's a criminal lawyer by profession. And then, one day, the entrepreneur spirit in him, said to him that let's start something new. And that's when he began multiple ventures, right? I know two of them. He might have many, but one is into power and solar, and the second is Wakao Foods, that is into B2C. Right? Sairaj is also a cricketer. He's represented the state of Goa in cricket. And it would be really great to hear you, Sairaj, today. Right? I just wanted to know, what made you feel, or what made you decide to take this entrepreneurship journey, and we'd just like to know a bit about yourself and your journey so far, and then we can kick off the discussion.
Thanks, Prathamesh. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today amongst all of y'all, and I'm thankful for you for inviting me. Uh, I basically come from a business family. I'm a fourth generation entrepreneur. So we have multiple businesses in the state of Goa. But I always wanted to be a lawyer. I trained to be a lawyer, but when I did it for one whole year, I realized that this is not something that I'm enjoying, and not something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So the obvious next thing was entrepreneurship. That was always there. That runs in my blood. So, but I didn't know what I wanted to do at that point of time. I knew I didn't want to do this. That is law. I didn't know what else I wanted to do. So then that whole journey of exploration started, where I joined a family business. We have hotels in Goa. So I joined that business. It lasted for 6 months. Then I left that. I started my first venture, which you rightly said, solars. So then we did solars. Then we did lighting. Then we did a very unique real estate project, and then came Wakao. So I did three ventures before Wakao. Wakao is a short, a little over 1.5 year, but my entrepreneurship journey has been for close to 10 years. I've been trying various things, always doing different things, because I knew that. See, I always had this subconsciously that I wanted to create a product which would be made in India, made in Goa, and which will go all across the world. I didn't know what that product was, but that drive was always there to create something like that. Till you find your real calling, you need to keep on trying, and that's exactly what I did. And finally, I stumbled upon jackfruit, and that has now completely changed mine and our team's lives. Yeah.
This is a very exciting journey, Sairaj. I must tell you. I mean, you've made a drastic, change of business model, or business as such, coming from a technical background, having solar power, and then shifting to B2C. How was that thought? I mean, what spiked that, or how was your transition?
So honestly, Prathamesh, I did not think of it that way. For me, it's very simple. I see an opportunity, I grab onto it, I lap onto it, and I completely strangulate it till I get the most out of it. So when I started solars, I saw a great opportunity in solars. I thought that was a whole vertical that was new. See, I had no technical knowledge in any of the things that I've done. The real technical knowledge I had was in law, and beyond that, I had not studied anything else. I've never done any kind of management. I've not done any kind of engineering. I'm not someone who really likes science as a subject. So my biggest teacher always was Google, and people who I met along and through experience. So the whole journey of Wakao also, it was never B2B, B2C, D2C. All of that never came. It was just, I was sitting one fine day looking at new opportunities. I just finished a real estate project, which was successful. We made a little money out of it. But with the lockdown happening and with the pandemic, real estate was on a downhill. So we had to look at something new. And that at that point of time, I was looking for new options, new opportunities. And that's when a friend sent me an article. And that article, the headline read, "Jackfruit, the superfood of the world." And that's about it. I don't even remember what was in that article, but that headline was that opportunity that I was looking for. And then I went deeper into it. I started reading and understanding what exactly it is, why people are calling it a superfood. Because we have, I don't know about you, but here in Goa and southern India, I'm sure all of 80% of India has eaten jackfruit sometime in their life. We are accustomed to jackfruit. Jackfruit literally grows on a tree behind my office. Just here, I can see it every day from my cabin. So, we are used to jackfruit, and suddenly and we know that it's wasted, no one eats it too much here. And suddenly the world is calling it a superfood. So, that made me think, and that's when I realized. And then as we moved, there were different verticals that came: B2B, B2C, Horeca, exports, all of that came on the journey. But that was never the aim, or that was never something that I saw and I jumped into it. That is a part of the journey that later on which came.
Right. I think that makes sense. But also, just you received an article, you read about it, you researched about it, right? Perhaps you met different people to know, right, how it is made. So, what were the kind of steps involved in the sense because you became so successful in just 2 years? Most of the companies cannot do that even in 5 years. What was an element you think because meeting right people at the right time or researching on right things? I mean, what was it for you?
So, like I said, I always keep my eyes, ears wide open for opportunities. So I keep looking how to do a certain thing. So when I said that I wanted to create a brand, that was the first thing. So what entails a good brand is great branding. You need to have a great name. You need to have great packaging. So my focus was, one is the product. You may have the best product in the world, but if it's not packaged right, if it doesn't reach the right people, it's useless. It's never going to make money. It's never going to grow. So branding and packaging and taking it out to the people was equally important. Although I had zero experience in that, I just knew that when I was creating a brand, it had to look, feel, sound very international. Today, India is obsessed with the West. So if we feel that something is international, that means it will be good quality. So that's a notion, that's a thought that's always there with us. Everyone, you and me, everyone. We always say that I imported it, international, this will be good. So when we started off, one was that we need to have a great product. Now, as far as product is also concerned, it's a food product. It's taste, it's subjective. So you keep improving on the way. You can never get it bang on right. And even today, I don't say we have the best product. We will keep on improving based on feedback and what we see in our R&D. But the other thing related to that was branding. Now there are lakhs of brands in India. There are so many brands, so many food brands. Uh, how do you create a space for yourself in all of that? So that was one thing. The third thing that I thought was very critical when I started was positioning this and finding out who are my competitors. Where is the space? I realized that no one was there in this space. So we had that opportunity of owning the space. And I set out on that. So it's a double-edged sword. One is that you're the first movers advantage you have. You say that there's no one else, there's just me doing this. But the flip side to that is there's no one else, and there's no one who's done this, there's no market for this. It's an innovation, it's as good as an invention.
Hello.
You can hear me?
Yes, now it's clear. It got frozen for a second, but it's now clear. Clear. Clear.
Okay. No, so what I was saying was, when you are you're the only one, or if it's a very lonely journey then, because you are trying to educate people, you're trying to tell people what it is. You're spending a lot of time, money, and energy on educating people on what it is. So it was a process. I think we made the right moves at the right time. We were at the right space at the right time. But at the same time, one thing that I was very clear about is, and I think every entrepreneur should be very clear about, is what are your strengths, and more clear about what are not your strengths. We try to overestimate ourselves a lot of times, and we think that we can do everything. We are good at this also, we are good at that also, and at that, and then you end up compromising on what's important. So one thing I hate is mediocrity. I will not go for chalta hai. So when I was even building this whole thing, I got the best. See, we didn't have great funds. I'm still a bootstrapped startup. I didn't. So by the way, just for everyone's information, I didn't take the Shark Tank deal. I came out and then I rejected it because you're getting a much better valuation outside, and we are now looking at closing around with someone who's much bigger. I respect all the sharks. I have a very good rapport with them even today. I went back to them. I gave them a counter offer. I requested them to better their offer, but it didn't work out. We were not on the same page. So we very on good terms. We shook hands and we went our paths. But yeah, so we were bootstrapped even then, limited resources. How do you get the most of it? So at that point of time, you need to see what best you can get from outside. So you can't hire people because it's going to be very expensive. So then we got the best consultants. We got the best people doing it for us in patches. So I got a very nice team who did the branding, name, and all of that. Got a nice PR agency who would make the right noises for us. See, people are very scared to go down that route. People always take the very, I don't know, it worked for me, but may not work for everyone else. But I don't know. But that was something I did. I didn't take the traditional route. कि आप पहले product निकालो, go to market, get it tested, let people say, wow, it's good, word of mouth, build a brand a little, and then after 2 years, start PR, start making a little noise. I said, no, we start PR first. Product ready, packaging ready, you're selling, let's make a noise because there's no one, right? So here comes India's first company, which does jackfruit. Then people will try the product. So I went the other route, and that worked for us. That made a good noise for us. So, like you said, in 1.5, 2 years, we've kind of scaled pretty well, and we've got quite a lot of noise in our favor, and a lot of this is responsible for that. And then obviously then we got a lot of we got international exposure. We started sending to Dubai, we sent to Norway, Netherlands, and all of this was before Shark Tank, mind you. So this happened before Shark Tank. We were doing pretty well. We got pretty good traction, and then Shark Tank happened, and that completely changed everything for us. So I always keep saying, I say this, there was a life before Shark Tank, and then there was one after. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's very well said, and it's glad that you met the right people at the right time. But just taking a step back, for most of us, in terms of the product acceptance, is very important initially. Product response is very important. Though you took the branding route, can you tell us a few instances of your food being tried and people's reaction on that?
I'm sorry, I lost your question. You'll have to again. You'll have
Okay,
to.
sure. So I was saying, in terms of acceptability of Wakao, right? How was it initially? Because I'm sure even after doing the branding, right, even after doing the PR, I think in terms of testing of the product, how was the people's reaction? Because this is something different product, that you have come all together. And some of us are also, I mean, you yourself have said that it is alternative to meat, so what was the reaction of people? How did people respond? So what I'm trying to bring here is perception, customer perception, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah. So it was a mixed reaction, like it would have obviously been. But I'm one person who takes feedback very constructively. I don't get put off by things. In fact, I don't get put off. I take everything very constructively. I see kya kar sakte iska. Now, if there's a problem, there's someone who would not like it, terribly not like it. Why? I would like to know why. What's the thing? What can we change with it? So one thing we realized, and when we started off also, we started with a product. Our product was a ready to cook kind of product. It was an ingredient. You had to make something out of it. But that wasn't getting translated to the audience, to the customers. They were opening it and trying to eat it, which is not working. Then we put a recipe inside. Then we try to change that. Tell people kaise karna hai. Then we went one step further now. Now we've completely changed the product. We've put on our packaging new and improved. Now we've made it a ready-to-eat product. So you can directly open a product and eat. You don't need to add anything to it or do any changes. So you keep on moving with one step at the one step another. You keep on understanding how you develop the product, what you need to do, what you need to change, how people will like it better. With the burger patties, chewiness was less. We improved it. We got a more flavor. We got a little more this, a little more that. So it, it the feedback is constant. It's a constant process because one, it is taste. Taste is very subjective. So what I may like, you may not. What you may like, I may not. But we need to reach a median when it comes to taste, somewhere which is a normal thing which most people may like. So it's a journey. We are getting there. We still not got there. I don't think we'll ever get there. It always keeps on improving and changing. But yeah, so feedback was always like that. It's up and down. It's different feedback. A lot of people give you five. A lot of people will say a lot of things. But you can't please everybody in any product that you do. But you have to try to come somewhere close to the majority where people will like. Only then it can work. If your product, people are not liking your product, not liking the taste, that's curtains. And there's no, as an entrepreneur, one thing you should always avoid doing is putting your head like an ostrich in the ground and being deaf to all the feedback and criticism, whatever is happening. That's your death nail. You have to be very open to it. Your ears have to be on the ground. You can't be flying in the air because fame, praise, all those things are temporary. They'll come and they'll go. But if you want to last the long game and the long race, you need to be there on the ground, understand what's happening, and take corrective action immediately. Don't let it prolong. When you find something that needs to be corrected, do it. Don't get your ego in the middle, or don't think that you're above everything else. That's very important when you're building a brand. So that's how we took feedback. We've always got it, and we still keep getting feedback. And yeah, that's how we keep on moving.
Yeah, that's great. I think you deliver what the customer expects, right? Is the key, and deliver it consistently and with the same quality. Then I guess the customers are good to go. Sairaj, just a question. You coming from Goa, has similarities with Bhopal in terms of being a tier two city, right? Many startups, uh, post pre-COVID, some executives working at higher position in good companies, they went back to the tier two cities and they started their own startups, right? And seeing them, a lot of other startups, mushroomed immediately because they wanted to do something else. Suddenly, entrepreneurship wave had come into the, city or state, and everybody started doing something else because there was time, right? People got time to think, to plan, which otherwise people didn't get during their jobs or, during whatever they did during the daytime. So, what do you think? What are the kind of similarities, or what should be your mind frame? That you want to compete big cities, you want to compete with big startups. Any such thought came to your mind, or you just jumped off the cliff one day and you decided to, and then you opened the parachute? I mean,
So Prathamesh, at the cost of sounding a little pompous, I never dream small. I'm built that way, and I try to tell people that each one of us needs to be built that way. And I, after Shark Tank, before Shark Tank, also I used to be invited because I'm one of the very few Goan entrepreneurs who's kind of taken it to the national stage, and which everyone in Goa is very proud of. And I'm very sure in Bhopal also it will be something similar. When someone from Bhopal does really well, everyone takes that very personally and they're very proud of it. So whenever I go to any college or anywhere, I keep telling our Goans, and that's the message to everyone from every tier two city or a smaller city, that we have we've put limitations to ourselves in our mind. No one has limits, man. They're all limitless. We can do anything, but we limit ourselves, and we are so comfortable living in our own small ponds. Like Goa is well known for that. Yeah. Goa, like I'm an unadulterated Goan. I've lived there all my life. My family is in business for 4 years. I know how they build businesses, how everyone builds businesses here. Everyone's so content. वो अपने छोटे pond में you swim with your own machlis who are your size or smaller. You elbow them and you keep moving around. You'll go in a nice car, you'll have a comfortable house, you'll have everything that you need, you have a foreign vacation. It's all so comfortable. No one wants to get out of that pond and test the waters in the ocean. And that's what I keep telling everyone here, that boss, the day you go into that ocean, you'll realize that the world is different. The opportunities are just so humongous that what you're doing here now, you'll feel that ये क्या कर रहा हूँ मैं पूरी जिंदगी मैंने किया दिया है. You just realize that it's an awakening. So everyone has to just open their horizons. Today the world is become very small. Connectivity to the world, and one great thing that COVID has done, if at all it has done anything, is that it has connected people across the world.
Yeah, you're back.
I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is our internet here. I'm trying my best. Okay, so what COVID has done is that it's got all of us connected so easily. I'm sitting here in Goa, you're sitting in Bhopal, and we are just talking as if we're sitting face to face. So anywhere in the world today you can talk. Like we are sending our products across the world. What is the barrier? What's the entry barrier? Nothing. It's all in our head. There is no bloody entry barrier in any business. I sell across India today, every state in India. I never thought about this, but when I started doing it, I realized it's so easy. You just need to have the ability and the will to do it. So, irrespective whether you're in Goa, you're in Bhopal, you're in Timbuktu, if you have a great idea, you have that fire in the belly, you know how to at the end of the day implement that idea, you can be sitting anywhere and doing world class business. And today you can get people to work with you from anywhere. You can, and then see, I'll tell you what, I love Goa. I love where I live, and there's no way I'm leaving this place and going anywhere in the world. I'm going to be here, Jinaya, Mannaya. So my head office will be in Goa, but we are going to work all across the world. Tomorrow definitely going to have a small office in Bombay because that's the financial capital. Most of the brands are there. We need to be there, but that doesn't mean that we can't work from here. We will definitely work from here. So it's like that. Yeah, wherever you are, you need not think that ye kuch kam hai. Today, Goa is becoming a hub for founders. There are so many startups which are completely shifting base to Goa because Goa is an amazing place to live. You all would know that. It's great work life balance here. So today with internet, just that it sucks a little here, but with connectivity and with everything, I think Goa is a great destination, and that's the same thing with Bhopal.
I think we all agree with you. Goa is a great destination, and we all love Goa. And most of us would be envy of you sitting in Goa and running a successful company. But everyone can do that in their respective states and travel to Goa later. So that's great to know. And Sairaj, now coming back to the most exciting thing, how did Shark Tank happen?
So like I told you, these are opportunities that come that I don't leave, man. I just don't leave them. So I was sitting like this on one of our review calls with my performance marketing agency from Gurgaon, the teaser company. We used to work with them then. So the founder Varun, who's a friend also, he said, "Sairaj, यार Shark Tank India आ रहा है." I said, "Wow." So Shark Tank तो हम सब ने देखा हुआ है ना. He said, "India में आ रहा है तो मैं फॉर्म भेज रहा हूँ on WhatsApp भर के भेजो. Let's see how what's there to try." So it started there. I just filled that form, and that too I got delayed by 2 days. I thought that the last day was over. But I said, what the heck, yeah, let's just send and see. It was that casual. And I just sent that form. And then in 2 days I got an email saying that you're selected to the next round. Then I got another form. Now this form was 18 pages. And it took half of my life filling it. It was so detailed, man. They asked me everything about my relation, my wife, my mother, my this, that. So we sat and over 5 days we filled that whole form, we sent, and we had a 3 minute pitch to be done. Now understand this. When life puts you out of your comfort zone, you need to embrace it. Otherwise, there's no way you're going to do something magical. Nothing comes in your comfort zone. And if it does come, then it's not magical. It's not something path breaking. When you're pushed and you do come out with something which surprises you, that's when something special is happening. So this pitch had to be done in Hindi. I speak Hindi. I speak normal Hindi. But if I have to articulate my thoughts, I can articulate it the best in English. Not even in Konkani, which is my mother tongue. So this was completely out of my comfort zone. Now here I had to do a 3 minute pitch to save my life. It was like my entire life depended on this. They were going to select me based on this pitch. I had to talk about intricacies of my business. articulate it the best and just within 3 minutes. So we started obviously for morning 11 till evening 5, sitting right here in front of this backdrop of mine. And I kept on saying, kept on saying. And when you're doing a pitch, it has to have that whole passion and that fire. And that passion and fire can come for the first 2, 3 times. But imagine doing it for 5 hours at a go. The same thing, you're trying to get it right. I did that, and we got it right. I lost my voice. I literally lost my voice, and we sent that pitch. Then we got another email saying that you're selected now for the next interview round. So then there was an interview round. I had to select location from between Bangalore, Delhi, and Bombay. I went to Bombay. There I was interviewed by 5, 6 people from the production team, fully mic'd with all cameras and all. It went on for 45 minutes. And then they said at the end of that, they said, we will now tell you, you will get a call only if you're selected. So then that wait was the toughest wait of my life. It was really long, and it went on for I think more than a month. I didn't get a call, and I got fillers. There were a lot of people who I met there. Fillers ki abhi chalu ho gaya already. Audition, ye shoot chalu ho gaya. Ek round ho gaya. I thought like shit, man. I don't think this is happening. But at the end, and again, I was confident. I was secretly confident that I will get through because my interview went well. I had a good time. Plus, I had a unique product, and I thought it would go through. But I also thought like whatever, ho gaya to ho gaya. But then one day I got that call. That call came saying that you're selected for the final round, and that the shoot TV round. Then it went. Then there were big emails which came. There were multiple teams that got in touch. Sony is a very professional team. Then it was a 4-day shoot in Bombay when I had never been to a movie set. This is Film City, Goregaon, where there was a Kaun Banega Karodpati, Dance India Dance, and a Shark Tank set. That's massive. For 2 days, they were. So the only thing a lot of people have asked me, oh, kitna, how much of it is fixed, how much of it is rehearsed, how real is it? So all that I would like to say is that it's 99% real, and 1% that is scripted is only the 3-minute pitch that I do. The first pitch that I did when I entered the show, that I think I said no, न्यूटन ने उनको एप्पल ने न्यूटन की जिंदगी बदल दी है.
Yes.
So all of that. So I had a different pitch that I had done. So one day before I left to Bombay, I got an email from Shark Tank which said, "Hi Sairaj, this is your new pitch." I said, "Shit!" And it was all dramatic. It was written so well, which I could have never written. And I thought, like, what the hell? So I called them. They said, "Don't worry, just come." So they didn't write a pitch for every contestant. They wrote it for a few who they thought had a good product, or that product demanded a pitch, and someone who could carry it off. Like you would see some people dancing, some people doing something because you could carry it off. They also over there in those 2 days while you were rehearsing your pitch, they would make changes because they were very clear. They said, "Sairaj, these 3 minutes of yours is to make an impression, the first impression on the sharks and the audience watching you." So it's very important. For Sony, it was very clear that for Sony, it's TRP. It's to run a great, successful show. For they are giving the contestants and the sharks an opportunity to meet each other. So that's about it for Sony. They needed to make the show work. So that's the only thing that was scripted, but it was also scripted so beautifully that it really gelled well with the show. It was nothing else. And after that, after those first 3 minutes, I was on stage for close to an hour, for 50 minutes to an hour. And it was just the 5 sharks and me, 6 of us. No seventh person came on stage. Even that food, if you see, I have given it to them. They said no one is going to come to help you. You have to do everything. They just kept on asking me questions. It was like a normal conversation like we are having it now. A lot of people wrote on Facebook and here and there. People keep commenting. They were trolling. They said that this is 100% scripted. How can they be so good to this guy? कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहे उसको and this and that. So I don't know. Yeah, it just went on well. They asked me questions. I answered them right. I didn't. I knew my product well. There was and if there was something, if they would have taken my case or they had said something bad to me, 200% Sony would have shown it. No one has control over it. They would have definitely shown it because that would build drama. But at the end of it, there were 85,000 contestants that applied. There were 198 people who reached the final TV round. There were 132 people who came on TV finally, and there were 60 people who got funded, and I was one of those 60 who got funded. So it was a long journey, but what are the chances? that first time when I got that link, what were the chances that I would have reached that? But it's about taking those opportunities and making the most of it. That's how it was.
Well, I mean, that was really, really exciting. I mean, this was music to our ears. We wanted to know the process. You covered that completely. We wanted to know if it is real or not. You covered that as well. And then again about your pitch, you said you practiced it thousands of times before that one pitch which made a difference, right? And again, you got a lot of mentorship there as well from Tony, in terms of how to pitch, to come up with a story and then pitch your product, is, something very different. And I think that helped you and that impressed the sharks, wherein, and also when they had the food, I've seen the complete episode. So when they had the food, some of them liked it, but some of them said it is not even close to the meat that you're saying.
Anupam was the only one, and in fact, Anupam was the only one who didn't give me a deal.
Yes,
All the other four
yes,
gave me a deal. So
right.
Anupam said ये meat के आसपास नहीं आता. Like he said,
That's right.
texture wise, he said it's tasty.
That's right.
It's tasty because of a lot of other factors could be. So that was his opinion about it. Yeah.
Right. 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 Well, we are very excited to ask you some more questions, but I would stop here and I would just let the attendees question you in case there are any. Sankalp?
Yes, Pratmesh. So the dice is open for the participant, for the attendees, if they want to ask any question. You can just unmute yourself and ask a question, or you can put it in the chat.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Sairaj.
Hi, hi, hi. I can't see you.
First of all, love your pitch on Shark Tank. It was like there was like confidence coming out of my television screen while watching you.
Thank you.
My question is, Sairaj, there are two questions which are most tricky to answer. First is the moat. Why only you can do this business and no other can do it, and the valuation, which are most tricky to answer. As per my startup experience. So how do you answer that?
So I think anyone can do the business. Why it's only me, but no one can do it the way I'm doing it. So anyone can do any business. But at the end of, so they say, a lot of people ask me, what about people who are going to now come in the race? What about copycats? I said everyone has the opportunity. India is a free country. Everyone can come and do their own stuff. They can definitely copy what I'm doing and try and do what I'm doing. But the idea is always to be two steps ahead of them. So when I'm building Wakao one particular way. It can be easily emulated. It's not some rocket science here. But before someone can even come and do what I'm doing another two things, another three things, which are different. I maintain my quality. At the end of the day, it's going to be how well I can project my product. See, today when you think of toothpaste, it's Colgate. Like it's synonymous. Toothpaste is synonymous. So people say Colgate dena mujhe. Xerox. So our aim is to own this category, and therefore I think there could be a lot, and there are already a lot of people, and I know that there is another brand who actually at last posted about it, and every comment we have to have the mandatory Wakao reference. So people write to them, they say, "Ye Wakao ko copy hai." So they also saw the humor in it, but that's how it is. People will definitely first, when you think of jackfruit today, I know so many people, some are friends, some are not, who are walking, they see a jackfruit, they remember us, because that's what we're trying to do. We are trying to enter your psyche. So that's the reason why I feel that we are really passionate about what we're doing. And there could be a lot of more people also who say they are passionate and you can do it, but they can never build a Wakao. They can build something similar to Wakao. So in that space, when you have to keep your ideals very clear. You need to have your site and what you want to do. Your game plan has to be very clear. If that's in place, then I think you will definitely scale irrespective of who's doing what. So even right now in our industry, there are a lot of people from outside India who are doing things. But we successfully replaced a Thailand brand in Netherlands with a 4-ton order. We sent 4 tons of jackfruit from here, processed ones from our jackfruit. which replaced a Thailand company. So that's the aim. We are going to go all across the world trying to replace existing players and creating new markets for us. So that's the aim. That's how we work. So everyone is free to do what they want to do, and no one can stop anyone, or nor do I want to stop anyone. But that's about it. You stick to your game plan. You stick to what you're doing. Try and maintain your quality, and only not only maintain, improve your quality, improve your product. Try and make all your customers happy. If they are happy customers, they are not going anywhere else. And the second part of your question was, I'm sorry, I lost that.
I think it was valuation.
Valuation.
Yeah.
So valuation is, I always say this, yeah, valuation is what you think your company is worth, and whether you can convince the investor that it is worth that much. If both of you are on the same page, that's your valuation. There are different yardsticks to do valuations. Your technical guys here in the VCs and the fund guys and all the incubators will tell you there are various yardsticks of coming to a valuation in technology based companies. It's different. Food, FMCG companies, it's different. There are certain things in which you can base your valuation, but at the end of the day, a lot of it depends on how the founder is, what the vision is, what the market prospects are, what is the kind of revenue you're making. So it's a combination of a lot of factors, and at the end of the day, it's how you can convince the investor what you really believe your valuation is.
Can I just ask like one more thing asking? Um, so you are a solo founder. So does being a solo founder takes, like like what kind of challenge is it to be like a solo founder?
A big challenge, yeah. So see, there are everything has its own pros and cons. One big challenge being a solo founder. See, if you're a solo founder, one thing you need to have is you need to have a thick skin that you can take criticism if you want, because then you won't have someone in house who's going to give you criticism. There's not going to be someone else who's going to give you a diverse opinion in house, because most of the people, so you have to build a team also which will come to you and tell you, "Ki, boss Sairaj, I don't think this is working right," also if he's not a founder. So I have some founding members with me who are in my team, who are very strong, who have been there with me for many years. Then I have quite a few well-wishers, mentors, you can call them whatever you want, who have no financial interest in my company, but they are my my what do you call it, mirror. When I sit with them, there is one very close friend called Praveen Kakode. So he's like someone who just every time comes and meets me and deflates a little bit of me and goes, so but that's good, that's required. He'll show me the mirror, he'll say, this is what we're doing, this is where you can go wrong, where you're going wrong, you could improve. So you have to be very open to criticism. If you're a solo founder, make a very strong heart. Don't keep your ego somewhere buried 100 feet below the ground. Be open to all opinions. When I say be open to all opinions, is not do what others say, is not blindly do what others say. Suno sabki, karo khud ki. That's my thing. But when I say that, it's not with arrogance, but with being very practical. So when I say that, it means that hear all your opinions, hear what everybody has to say, then go back to the drawing board, do your research, find out what's the best way, and then do what you think is right and take responsibility for your actions. If that is done in a very proper systematic manner, and not going based completely only on your whims and fancies, and if you can take a opinion, you can take a decision based on sound opinion, and after putting it proper thought and analysis, then it's safe being a solo founder. But if you're an erratic guy who will just want to go with your gut all the time and do decisions, just then it's really difficult. You need someone else to ground you, keep you grounded.
Well,
Thank you.
that's very well said, Sairaj. I mean, talking to a lot of people also helps when you are a solo founder, because when you talk to them, you start seeing a pattern, a positive pattern or a constructive pattern, right? You can pick and choose some of those elements, and then you can weave it into a perfect story which you want to narrate, right? So,
So I always say, the toughest thing for me is when I have to take a very important decision, I have to look in the mirror and ask myself, only what whether I should do this or not. So it's sometimes very daunting, because there are so many decisions that I have to take in the last 1.5 years, and they are all at the end of the day my decisions, right? I can't blame anyone for it, and I can't pinpoint. At the end of the day, you can take all the opinions in the world, but nor can my father force me, or nor can anybody else force me to do something. It is my decision, and I'm going to be responsible for it. You as a founder only, then you are very careful, yeah, कि मैं ये करने वाला हूँ, इसका क्या है, What are the pros, cons? It's a risk. Every decision is a risk. No decision comes with a 100% guarantee tag. Every decision is a risk. But take the decision and then make it right. That is what I feel.
And Sairaj, one question from my side. Of course, being a solo founder or being a founder, how many hours do you work in a day? Or rather, I'll just rephrase it. So, how many hours did you put in a day to make this happen?
See, my favorite dialogue, and I yesterday jadowed it on some of my team members also because they were doing something which could have been done much more easier. I said, I keep saying, work smart, not work hard. You need to work smart. So I don't believe in putting in donkey's hours of work. I'm a firm believer that get things done very smartly, divide your work, uh, make sure that there are team members doing things, do things which you are required to do. See, there are certain things now I'm very clear. I'm not required to do, and I'm not supposed to do that. I will not do it. I have someone to do it. Why do I do it then? Where my expertise is, where I'm required to put my focus, I will put. So now I'll give you an example. I don't put my head in operations. I've set up the entire operations. I have every email ID on my iPhone, every email ID. I know everything that's happening, right from the CFO to everybody. I know what's happening, but I don't interfere. They are doing their own thing. I'm just overlooking. If I start going into operations, growth is going to halt. My job is growth. My job is business development, and I'm doing that. The rest of it, I put systems in place, and they are running with people running it, and therefore the company is not dependent on anyone, not on me as well. So even I'm replaceable. No one is irreplaceable in the company. So so if you ask me hours, man hours, I don't put in my life in. I have a lot of more things that I love doing, and if you're not happy as a human being in what you're doing, you're not going to be. So there are some people who say that I am a workaholic. I just need to work 18 hours a day, 16 hours a day. Good for you. I'm not one. I have so many more things that I want to do. I play a lot of cricket even today. On my weekends, almost all my Sundays are cricket. Now it's raining, but I want to go home. I want to play with my son. I want to put him to bed. I get up in the morning early. I work out. That I need that to keep myself fit. That's why I live in Goa. So I reach home in 5 minutes. I don't have to be in the traffic for 1 hour. So I need that work-life balance. I need to be happy every day. So I will work smart. I will work all my life like this. And none of the people who work with me also, I don't call them who work. I don't say they work for me. No one is an employee. Everyone is a colleague. So everyone who work with me also, my most important thing is to see that they are also fulfilling their passions. What do they like? So one fellow likes boxing, one fellow likes surfing. Now he's also started cycling in the morning. Someone else likes something else. Do it. You have to live your passions. You have to. I left law because of that. I felt it was too boring. I felt it was too monotonous. I needed more color in life. I needed to do so many more things in life. If you're not happy and you're not in a good mental space, you can never create magic in work. You can never create something that is amazing. So therefore, I wouldn't put an R or a number to it, but I'll just say that I work, I work quite a bit. But I enjoy every minute at work. So there's never a minute at work that I'm bored or I don't want. If I'm bored, I'll go home, or my home is close by, or I'll do something else. I've made so our office also designed in such a way that we have lazy sofas, lazy bags. We have a place to sit. We have a nice pantry. Yesterday there was nice noodles being cooked here. I have a driver come. He does all other bank things and all. He sat and he made noodles for us. So someday someone else, the account head, will make something. So it's a very nice environment, and that's what's required in a workplace. I feel it's not. People like to use the term startup culture and all of that. I just think it's work culture. It's just that everyone has to be very happy doing what they're doing. If they don't see, one thing you need to realize is that we spend more time in at our workplace than at home. And if we're going to spend so much time at our workplace, we'd rather be happy spending that time here. So that's how it is, and that's how we try to maintain a balance, and that shows in the work that is done then.
Right. I think that's very well put. I would say from the horse's mouth. When it comes to handling your operations, or let people handle certain tasks, which they're assigned to. While you have, about everything else. and it runs like a well-oiled engine, is what you expect. And it automatically runs once you only oversee and not interfere,
Correct.
is what I take it. Right. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? I think we have just about 5 minutes.
There's one.
Yeah, hi, this is Shreyas here.
Yeah. Hi, Shreyas.
Yeah, hi. Actually, my
Yes,
question
go on.
is regarding the impact of the Shark Tank. Like, what was the impact on your sales after you, and also what was the impact as per point of view of the investor? Like a lot of investors.
So the impact was massive. It was actually massive. For the next week or so, we had almost 10x rise in sales. Sales had gone through the roof. Our machinery broke down. We had delayed orders. It went crazy. It was havoc that happened. It lowered down later on, but it still remains at a much higher pace. Uh, Investor sentiment grew massively because now what had happened was you would seen a set of very good investors who had given this product a thumbs up, right? They tasted you could see them tasting it and liking it. The taste was good, and that said this is a good product that can be done. We had investor interest even before Shark Tank, and after Shark Tank, those same investors also became much more interested. And plus, there was so many new set of investors who were interested. So definitely, it was a huge. Like I keep saying, I'm saying it again. It changed our life, man. There's no two way about that. It definitely changed our life.
Great, great. Thanks a lot, Sairaj.
Thanks.
Thank you, Shesh. Any?
Hi, Sairaj. This is Shivam.
Hi, Shivam. Ren
Yeah.
Suzo.
Yeah, I'm from Rantogo. So, Sairaj, मैं final round तक मेरा हो गया है actually Shark Tank में.
Oh, congrats.
So, अभी टैंक के लिए मेल का और कॉल का मैं आपके जैसा वेट कर रहा हूँ eagerly कब कॉल आने वाला है एंड कब मेल आने वाला है. So, बेसिकली मतलब कितना ये लोग टाइम लेते हैं, क्यूरियोसिटी मेरे अंदर.
So तुझे एक बात बोलूं मैं not to dampen your spirits, definitely you will definitely get a call. But last month I was in Delhi for that for Ahar, and over there I met two guys. They came to me. One girl, they were a couple. They came to me. They said, "Sairaj, hi, we saw you on Shark Tank. This, that. We were also on Shark Tank. We also reached the final round. We're still waiting for the call." I said, I can understand it. So it's a painful wait. I jokingly say that this wait was tougher than when my then girlfriend and now wife said yes to me. That wait was much more easier than this wait because I can understand how much, because this is life changing, man. If it happens, it's super. So I don't know. You just wait. भगवान का नाम लेते रहो हर जो अननोन नंबर. सो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम ना जो भी अननोन नंबर से कॉल आता था ना, नहीं तो हम अननोन नंबर नहीं उठाते फोन. वो नंबर पहला निकाल फर्स्ट कॉल पे लेते हम अननोन नंबर कि भाई तू शार्क टैंक का है.
so many time मैंने ऐसा किया है कि लाइक मैं स्पैम कॉल्स भी अटेंड कर रहा हूँ कि यार ऐसा
हाँ,
कोई
सब कॉल करते रहो, मिस मत करो भाई कॉल. सब कॉल उठाते रहो, एक कॉल आएगा जरूर, बीच में आएगा. ऑल द बेस्ट, ऑल द बेस्ट.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
Thank you, Shivam. Any other question? I think there's one question in chat also from Mr. Gopal Patidar. Yeah, he asked that what should I keep in mind while planning to pitch for investment?
See, one thing, Gopal, is that you need to be very real. You need to, because those investors are now, who हमारे बाप के बाप है. They have seen so many pitches, they know everything. They can read through you. So be very clear with your vision, with what you want to do, with your numbers. Don't fake it. Because if they think there's something which is not real, it'll put them off. And once they're put off, because now उनके पास हजारों नहीं लाखों investment options होते हैं. So it is like your opportunity to make an impression. Investors, according to me, look for just two things. One is a great idea, which is really solving a problem. And the second is an amazing founder. So, उनको अगर ये दो मिलते हैं ना, that combination, the third thing, then they'll say, okay, let's take it to the next level and see how that happens, whether we can implement this idea or not. That will be the third thing before they make that investment. But for that first impression, to get them interested in you, great idea, great founder, that passion has to translate. They have to see. So even on the show, all the sharks, they said to me when they said we are investing in you. We are investing in you, and then whatever your company is. But first it's you. They all invest in the founder. So be very confident of what you are doing. Have your plans very clear and have them translated to them very clearly. Um, Make clear notes of your numbers, where you're heading, what you're doing, and just be real. I think that should work.
Okay, I think there's a question. How did you receive the funds since your company is registered as an LLP? We are always told that one has to register the company as private limited to get funded.
Good research, man. So yeah, so that's a big hindrance. Um, but surprisingly, the sharks were ready to invest in my LLP also, because they really wanted to invest in my company because they knew they were getting a good valuation and they wanted to work with me. They were very nice to me, but that didn't go through. But like I have investors who are ready to invest in the LLP, but it's always best to invest in a private limited, and that's the reason we are now converting to a private limited, and only then we will take the investment. So it's always advisable to first convert into a private limited and then go for investments. Some investors may invest in an LLP, but 95% of the investors don't.
All right. I think it's due past time. I just wanted to thank you again, Sairaj, for giving so much time. I know you must be busy, but thanks to Goa that you have some free time with us. Just for an hour or so
I
to
like
talk
it.
about your experiences.
Pleasure, Prathamesh. Pleasure. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining in, and thank you also for the team who put this together. Thank you, BNS team, and I would also like to give kudos to my teammates who made this happen. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time, and you have a wonderful day. Sairaj, you have a great week ahead. Thank
Thank
you so
you,
much.
everyone. Follow us on Instagram, like us, show some
Yeah.
love, and let's connect on LinkedIn. See you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sairaj.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
and
Rajesh.
thank you,
Thank you.
Prathamesh.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.